I'm not used to getting it up and running early.
I know, right? It's unheard of.
Better every day.
People are going to talk.
I'll be right back.
Sam, I am here at the meeting on the 21st.
Oh, the next, okay. I
Yeah.
think you're good to go.
We're good?
As long as everybody can hear us.
Everybody can hear us?
Yep.
All right. Before we get going, I just wanted to take a minute and acknowledge the passing of Seth Hodgkins, who's one of our EMTs over at the rescue. He passed away in a motorcycle accident on the 30th, and wanted to thank everybody for the outpouring of support. We've received all kinds of wonderful food items over there and cards, which was very nice. He was a good guy. He definitely supported the community. He worked for Buckfield, Pace, and United. And we had a nice procession and service for him this week. They are having a food drive for him. So if you have any foodstuffs to drop off, you can drop them in the entryway of the rescue, and we're going to donate those in his honor. So we'll call this meeting to order for Tuesday, April 7th at 6:31 p.m. And we do have a quorum. Peter and Sandra have a family emergency, will not be with us this evening. Consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? The total on that's $133,313.76. The fire department report. January 1st through January 31st, they had 19 calls, 2 meetings, 3 trainings. They've been quite busy over there as well. Approval of the minutes from the March 17th Select Board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Nope, look fine to me.
Look good to me.
All right, all those in favor? New business, planning board recommended ordinances for annual town meeting.
Let me hit on this real quick.
Yes, please.
Okay. So the planning board's been working on reviewing and amending 3 different ordinances, one of which was the commercial solar ordinance that we had discussed originally when we got the board back. There's a draft copy of that ordinance in your packets. There's a proposed property maintenance ordinance that came to be as a result of just numerous concerns, questions about what the town can do regarding certain properties that have sort of turned into junkyards. Our hands are kind of tied with what we have right now because it's basically just what the state statute says. It's really hard and expensive to go after some of those. So it would give us more local authority to kind of cite a violation. I don't think it was anybody's intent to tell anybody what they can do on their property. It's mostly geared towards out of sight, out of mind. So like if you've got stuff on your property, just make sure it's not visible to the public. It does set some maintenance standards as far as grass in the village area to prevent lawns from becoming hay fields. There is exemptions for farms and anybody involved in agricultural work. So obviously a farm with a bunch of equipment sitting in a field isn't going to be wouldn't be a violation. And it's also not something that is like, okay, if this were to pass, our code enforcement officer is going out and looking for violations. It would have to be reported to us, investigated, and then it goes through a process. So that's what the second one is. And then the reestablishment of the Buckfield Planning Board, obviously that's already an ordinance that we have. There were some amendments made to that. One was changing it from you have to be a resident of Buckfield to just striking resident, because we ran into situations where we weren't able to basically get enough appointed members of the planning board to actually perform the business. And then it also has a temporary governance clause in it that says if there aren't enough appointed members to form a quorum, the select board takes over as the planning board temporarily until you guys have appointed enough. So that will hopefully prevent a situation where a developer comes in, wants to do a subdivision, we don't have a planning board, and they're waiting months and months and months until the town ends up subject to a lawsuit because we're not acting. So if the select board were to hear a subdivision or go through a subdivision review and either approve it or deny it, if it were appealed, in that case, it would have to go to the Board of Appeals instead of you. Whereas right now, if the planning board approves something, it would come to you. We don't have a Board of Appeals right now, but that's further down the road. We basically needed to be able to function, and it was very difficult last year. So those were the two amendments to that ordinance. So they've reviewed them, voted on them, and are just recommending that they go before the town to be voted on. Whether they pass or fail will be up to the town. Should you add them to the warrant? They're currently in the draft warrant.
I didn't get the chance to review them before the meeting. So I would make a motion that we table this discussion till the 21st, I suppose.
That's going to be hard to do. Your warrant has to be final by Friday.
Cool.
No pressure.
Well, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable voting on ordinances I haven't read.
Well, and so my take on this is whether you agree with them or don't, me personally, like there may be something on here that I may not approve or like. All this is doing is putting it before the voters for them to decide, because it's their decision. It's not yours.
I get that. Yeah.
But I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It's been a super time crunch, and the planning board's only been able to meet twice in the last 4 months. And they worked really hard to make sure that it would be ready for tonight. They're the same ordinances that they met and discussed on the 24th, I think was their last meeting.
Yeah, I was able to, I wasn't able to tune in for that one. I think I gave it a look over their agenda at least. I guess, and I had brought this up with them, so, and I know that they were on a time crunch, but I was a little disappointed to see that they didn't, I'm not under the impression they got a lot of feedback on this, on how to improve this ordinance since the last time we tried to pass it. Something that was brought to my attention through AvCog was carve-outs for agricultural operations that are actively planting crops on exposed ground. I think that pursuant to at least our current comprehensive plan, which is another discussion that we should probably
Yeah.
have, is that's
Yeah, it's been a
old.
long time.
But one of the things that we discussed was prioritizing protecting farmlands, and where we're in a situation present day that that our land value is rising at an increased rate because of the desirability of our community. I think that I find it really important to alleviate cost burdens for farmers in any way that we can. And one of those things, as discussed with AvCog, was allowing agricultural carve-outs for land where crops are planted. So solar panels can actually assist with warming climates, keeping temperatures cool enough for a more diverse array of ground crops out in the open sun, but also with soil erosion as well, as it provides some land cover. So not seeing any of those, I wish I had had time to make a motion for an amendment to this ordinance before we pass it, or before we send it to the voters to presumably pass.
Is it something that, should this were to pass, could be amended in a later version to incorporate some of that stuff?
I would imagine that that is possible through our town bylaws.
Yeah, any of those ordinances could be amended in the future, so.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Okay, good.
But yes, I don't
Does have
intend
an
for that to
amendment
be a critique on the planning board, because I appreciate them getting all three of these together before the vote, so.
I will say one of the changes in here from what was proposed before, and it was based off of feedback that was received, was, why can't I find it? Under section 6. It sets a limit. One of the concerns that they had heard was, depending on the type of business, something to power certain businesses could be as large as, 2 football fields
Absolutely.
or whatever. So in here, there is a section that says commercial solar energy systems for on-site use shall not exceed 1/8 of an acre, which does generate quite a bit of power. It sets the guideline that it can't be viewed from, or it needs to be shielded from public view. So whether that be fencing or trees or something to prevent it from.
Being an eyesore.
Right. So that's the biggest change I noticed in here.
I wish I knew what 1/8 of an acre looked like off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find a.
50 by.
I say it's not much.
I know depending on the array, you can still put quite a few panels on 1/8 of an acre.
Yes, and another thing that the town of Norway is looking at right now is they have a community solar co-op. So it's like residents of the town buy into solar systems that are placed on a separate tract of land, which I don't know if this would prohibit such a system. But again, I guess I can add that to my proposed amendment in the future. I do understand the urge to take action on this, and I wouldn't act like it's not warranted, because I don't enjoy watching agricultural land or even forested land chopped down and turned into these solar arrays. I think it's counterproductive. But
So
I just think there's a lot to consider.
in the effort of being transparent and fair, I'll give you both your options, right? You can move this forward so it can be voted on in June, and then if it were to pass, we could look at amendments later on. Or prior to,
I think June 14th was when the moratorium is up.
We passed
Looking
it.
at my
We
calendar.
passed it December 2nd, so it'll be right around there. The
put it in
board
my
would have to
calendar.
act on extending the moratorium
Right.
up to another 180 days until this can all be ironed out. So those are your two options. I mean, it doesn't have to go on, so I just want to get that out there. So
Yeah.
it doesn't look like I'm trying to push you one way or another.
No, of course. I mean, I do think that we should consider the fact that we have two big elections this year. We have the primaries in June, but we have another one in November. Do we have anything, were we anticipating doing anything on the town level in November? Like is pushing this back to that, adding work to the staff?
What's the withdrawal committee's timeline right now? Are they talking May
They're
now?
talking about November.
So if they're talking about November, that would be the only thing,
Okay.
barring any resignations or
Sure, yeah,
stuff like that.
okay, that's right.
So that's where we're at.
All right.
My motion is still on the table. I won't be offended if you don't say.
No? All right.
I don't know.
You don't know? All right.
No, I'm thinking that, my feeling is, for the time being, to put it in front of the voters and then do any type of amendments we need to do, so we have time to
Yeah.
really research them and make sure that they're what we want.
Yeah.
And not just rush them through. Now.
Absolutely, yeah. Totally agree.
So I make a motion, we, whatever the terminology. I'm new at this, people.
Yeah, no,
That
that's
we
succinct.
approve the recommended ordinances for the annual town meeting from the planning board.
I'll second that. Sorry.
You're good.
I mean, I know, you're so with it. and-
I won't put you on the shit list yet.
Yeah. Further discussion we haven't had yet? No. I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, oh, I agree with you.
Yeah, no. Don't I know it?
Yep.
All
Okay.
those in favor?
Steve told me not to come to this meeting and get an argument with anybody. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, I'm just pulling your leg.
It wasn't even a real argument.
I love listening to Azalea's point of view.
All right, the 26-27 proposed budget town meeting warrant.
Bob did email me something I made an error on, but I did update it on your packet.
Okay,
I forgot to put recommended by the select board and the budget committee, so I added that language in and re-uploaded it. So I believe the copies you have should reference that.
okay.
But I would recommend skimming through and checking dates. I did once or twice, and more sets of eyes is good. And I pulled all the totals right from what you voted on at the last meeting. Double checked it with what the the budget committee came up with. I think I've done my due diligence. How was that? 13. I'm good. And I know the formatting is always an issue because it breaks stuff off. But I also didn't want to make it so small that it's hard to read.
Mm.
I need to check Article 16.
When you're done, I was just curious, what was do you remember the percentage difference between the last year and this year? I know it was.
Like 4.6 lower?
So the net budget was like negative 4.6. The overall budget, I think, was like just under 1.
Yep. So down from last year.
1.
Because of the, increase to state revenues, is that?
Right.
That helped, yeah.
The revenues increased, so that helped to offset any of the increase that we had. The school budget is still up in the air. We've seen anything from 3% to 15% to.
Right.
What was discussed at the last meeting, I think would put Buckfield around 8%, which tax-wise, it would be a slight increase or flat, but anything higher than that will put us, the mill rate would go up based off estimates. All right, 36. I just need to check one thing on Article 16, because I don't remember, I didn't check to see what they set the interest rate.
4%?
Well, that's what I'm asking, but in my
That's-
note, I
oh.
said the maximum rate
Oh, yeah,
was
it's
7.5,
7.5.
and I don't know if that's correct for this year. So I'll just need to change that. Abatement. No, that's abatement.
Am I having a brain fart? Or,
Good catch.
okay.
You marked mine up too, but
That one's Article what?
9.
So in Article 9, I wrote 3, but put 2 in the parentheses. It should be 2.
And above that.
And then I put 6 and wrote 7. So this is what happens when I use the prior years as a template.
Yeah.
So question 9, and I'll have to change this before you guys leave so that you can sign it once you approve. So number 9, I got to change the numbers. I think it's 10%, but the statute's really hard to read. I'll get an answer before the end of the night.
Okay.
We'll just, whatever your motions are, we'll note the changes. Tax year 26, the maximum rate of interest on delinquent property taxes in Maine is 7. So that needs to be 7%, not 7.5.
Okay.
That's just in the note section. It doesn't change the actual article. The reason in years past we've gone with 4% is because it allows the town on the next article to pay no interest, because if we set it at 5, the lowest you could set the overpayment interest would be 1, so you'd have to pay interest on that.
Sure.
So at 4%, the town doesn't have to pay any interest on overpayment of taxes.
Change the signature line on that one.
Oh, jeez. Yep, I gotta put Joanne's name in
Oh,
there.
please.
Anything else? We've got there's a lot of the questions we ask every year,
Yeah.
like accepting gifts, how to dispose of property. Article 24 is in regards to tax acquired property. That one's pretty much boilerplate written to comply with the new laws.
Can you add Buckfield Mall to the places you're gonna post copies of the warrant?
Yeah, I can do
Now
that,
that they're-
now that they're open.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure when they were gonna be open when I wrote, when I,
Yeah. I don't think they were sure either. I have noticed them open.
and it also has that question that allows you to waive foreclosure in situations where it would be costly to the town. Shorter than last year, because we didn't need 4 pages of accepting property.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else looked good to me.
So after the meeting, I'll run into my office, I'll make those changes, and then I'll bring you out a clean copy.
Okay.
So then I have number 9, changing those numbers, the written numbers. Number 16, changing the percent to 7%, and then adding Joanne's name to it and removing Heather's.
And then just adding the Buckfield Mall.
And the Buckfield Mall, I did have that too.
Okay.
See. If you can read my handwriting.
All right. I will make a motion that we approve the 2026-2027 proposed budget town meeting warrant with changes.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right. Now we have to schedule the public hearing. The proposed date is April 29th, if it works for anyone,
I don't know what your work schedule is.
a Wednesday night.
Did you say April 29th? Oh, yeah, I'll be
April
back by
29th.
then.
When I threw some dates out to Bob, I was looking at, it would be nice to have a public hearing before absentee ballots come out so people can hear. Because I know that's been one of the gripes, is you have it after absentee ballots are out and people have voted before they even actually hear anything. With the softball schedule, the games are Tuesdays and Thursdays, so if you want me here, a Wednesday would work, or a Monday.
Whichever works for me. 29th works for me.
I will be out of state on the 29th. No promises on if I can zoom in or not. I will try to if that's the date we go for.
The other option was the following week, which was
The
what?
6th,
The 6th?
does that give us time enough? Yeah, because the absentee ballots are the 10th.
Yeah, so it would be the week prior.
And could we do an earlier time? Would that work for people?
It's fine with me on the 6th, yeah.
Okay. Is the goal to do line by line or just open public hearing?
It's up to the board how you want to do it. I know in years past, we've gone, are there any questions on Article 1? And then kind of waited and then gone article by article. We've also ran them where,
I know, I liked how we did it last year, but we're kind of on a weird day that day. I could do the 6th at like 4:30 and beyond. I have a meeting I'd like to be at 5:30, but it's okay if it can't work. But that goes 5:30 to 7. And this takes priority, so.
what
Up
would,
to you guys, what works for you?
That would be fine with me.
what would be better for you? The week prior and zooming in if possible, and that way you don't have to miss your meeting, or?
If possible, but there's a chance I wouldn't be able to. I'm not sure where I'm gonna be that evening. So if it comes down to a night like tonight, like if you feel confident that you guys will be able to form a quorum, that's, the 29th is okay with me. And I'll just try to be tuned in. But I might not be able to be like an active participant. The 6th, I would be able to be a more active participant. I guess that means I should make the motion.
Yeah, 6th is fine with me. Either is fine.
All right. I'll make a motion to schedule this meeting for 5 p.m. on May the 6th. Or sorry, not meeting, public hearing.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All those in favor? All right.
Thank you.
Get it in my calendar here.
Mm.
There we go. Okay. So municipal quitclaim deed.
Another property where the taxes has been paid.
Cool.
We need to make a motion to accept that?
Need a motion to
Sign
sign
it
the
over?
deed.
Sign it. Okay. I'll make a motion, we sign the quitclaim deed.
I'll second.
Further discussion? That's on parcel 013-004-013-000. All those in favor? Other business, select board comments. No? No? All right.
I guess not.
Nothing? All right.
No, I got nothing.
Public comment.
Judy.
Judy, I hear you. I see you waving in the back there. Oh, you're muted.
She's looking for the button.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Darn.
We got you. We can
We
hear
got
you.
you, Judy.
We can hear you.
I found this on the web. Can you?
Judy, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Okay, fine. You know, all this addiction money that has gone out to the towns. Is Buckfield going to receive any?
What is it for?
You mean you don't know? All these 200 and some million dollars that will be going out to the town to work on addiction from the
I have-
opioid manufacturers?
Oh, I don't know the specifics on that, but I have heard of what you're talking about. I don't know how that works.
Oh, well, a lot of towns are already involved in it. I just wondered who gets it. Well, you know, how is it working? I was reading about Sangerville. Apparently they have a large program and they're kind of small, way uptown.
I wasn't even aware of it.
Yeah, we're all looking it up now.
But does it apply to towns or treatment facilities?
The
Like
towns,
what,
the towns. Yeah,
and what, do
I
you
guess
know what the
you
towns
don't
do
read
with
the paper, but Cam, I know, does get the paper. I think it's in some of the newspapers. Well, I guess
Yeah,
you don't know about it, but I think you should be aware of it.
I haven't heard of it, but I'd be interested in knowing what the money is to be used for.
Well, supposedly it's up to the towns. I don't understand how it's being used. But in any event, I think you should at least look into it. I don't
Yeah,
think,
I found it here, LD 215.
Oh, thank you, Bob.
Mhm.
And LD 1714. So we'll look into it and we'll have to get back to you on that, because we'll have to see what the specifics are.
well, I think you could take a look at either the Sun Journal or the Main Sunday Telegram has a big article on it.
To reimburse municipalities for 100% of housing assistance provided.
Okay, but we
Large
don't,
recovery residences.
Right.
yeah. So we currently don't provide housing assistance
Large recovery.
to recovery projects. So we'd have to look into it, but it sounds like we might not be eligible. It's not just a slush fund for small towns. It's like, it's to help people with recovery, which the town of Buckfield does not currently participate in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it up.
Any other public comment?
Neil's shaking his head no.
No? No one else? All right. So we're going to have executive session to discuss the town manager's evaluation pursuant to 1 MRSA subsection 4056A. So we will go into executive session and we'll come out and end the meeting if anybody wants to stick around for that.
I'll need a motion in a second.
All right, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA subsection 4056A to discuss the town manager's evaluation.
I'll second.
All those, further discussion? All those in favor? All right.
I'm gonna have to do this. Turn your mics back on.
Oh, yeah.
Seven 35.
What time is it? 7:35. All right. So we are coming out of executive session at 7:35 PM. After discussing town manager's evaluation, and he did very well. I'll make a motion that we extend this contract for another year.
I'll second.
All right.
Here, let Joanne have it.
Further
I've done
discussion?
enough today.
All those in favor? Thank you. And we were going to discuss the swap shop?
Yes, before we adjourn, meant to mention this earlier, nothing super pressing or important. Now that the DEP has approved our idea for a swap shop, I was able to reach back out to Catherine Mardoza with AvCog to discuss our grant application. My goal is to have all the details squared away by our May 5th Solid Waste Committee meeting so that I can have it's going to be done through our town and through AvCog, and then we will just have to sign as a solid waste committee and also have the Sumner Select Board sign like a memorandum of understanding letter so that they have proof that we've got the go-ahead for this. So I just relayed back to her everything we talked about in that solid waste committee meeting, and she reached out to their solid waste. They have a person on staff who deals with that stuff, and we'll be setting up a site visit with them. So not as intimidating as the DEP, but they're just going to check out what space we're already working with. I did discuss that the DEP mentioned that the previous site of the swap shop does have to be removed, but that we have lots of other room in the larger structure since we haven't been recycling for a while. Now, I haven't been in there, so we're going to go in there, evaluate. They're going to make some recommendations. One thing that was interesting was she was looking to me and the solid waste committee for help writing the proposal itself. I feel like when Zach Goslin was with us, he wrote the grant proposal. So I don't know if it's just they have a new way of doing things, and I'm okay. I feel like I did all right with the last grant that I helped write, but
I think Zach did it as part of they were a provider. I don't know if the funds from that grant
yeah.
were up.
Oh, that might be what it is, because I had mentioned that I thought Sumner signed up with CB and we were through AvCog, so how does that work? And she said that was for the initial intake, so
Yep.
I think that could be what it is. And then there is one more thing that I am forgetting. Oh yeah, I got a call back from the Maine Community Foundation just to discuss the application for a $10,000 grant. The woman on the phone was very positive, had a lot of great feedback, said she loved my proposal. She's not, the determining factor. She was just really calling to check in with me and ask questions, but I did ask her like how she thought we looked, and it was positive. So I'm hopeful that we will be receiving at least part of that grant. And she said that I can probably anticipate hearing back before the June 1st deadline. She didn't have a definitive date, but she said that's how it was looking. So, and that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know we're already went past the public comment part, but I will mention and I had said it to you before the meeting, the transfer station will be open tomorrow. The backhoe needed pretty significant repair, which I believe they wrapped up today. So without the backhoe, we can't compact down the bins. So once they're mounted over, there's nothing we can do. So I don't anticipate any issues tomorrow. Wednesday anyways, if something happened, Public Works could get over there with the loader and do it. I just don't feel comfortable enough leaving the loader. It's a much bigger piece of equipment with people moving around and having those guys operate that equipment to do that. So, but where Public Works is here till 4:30, there shouldn't be any issues.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that our next swap shop committee ad hoc committee meeting will be on the 15th at 6
You're right.
here. If you could add that to the calendar, please.
I can do that.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
All right. There's nothing else. I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 7:42 PM.
I'll second.
All in favor? All right. Thank you.